Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the Spirit and Soul Podcast. Get yourself prepared because we are diving into what it is to be unlimited. And also, we are talking about where the idea for the 2026 Unlimited Conference by Spirit and Soul all came from, where this dream was born from, and how you can get involved in this, our first ever conference. Like, I can't even believe that I'm saying these words. So if you haven't heard yet, if you're not on our social media, on Spirit and Soul, on mine, I'm Tiffany Cohen on Instagram, in our email list, whatever it is, we announced that we are hosting our first ever conference. And for me, this is the biggest thing that I've ever done. And conferences to me have changed my entire life. They've changed my life. They've changed my business. And I have always known that I wanted to one day run my own conference. And so here it is. So in this episode, we're talking about the conference, but we're really talking more about what it is to be unlimited. But first, I want to share with you how this all manifested, right? Because a lot of what we talk about on this podcast is about manifestation. And this is such a huge manifestation for me, for Spirit and Soul. So the thing is that I knew that I wanted to do something really, really big in the name of Spirit and Soul. Like, I wanted Spirit and Soul to, of course, be known for its classes and the one-to-one services that we provide in the groups, and really the transformation, that the space that we hold for your transformation, right? That is what we want to be known for. But I knew that there was something that I really, really big, that I really wanted to do. And when I say big, I mean on a big scale, to hit the most amount of people as possible in one area with that transformation energy, with the manifestation energy, of course, with the healing energy, and guide people through that. And not just through the voices of Spirit and Soul, but through all of the friends and the people who've even influenced us in our own lives throughout the years, and who have helped to shape who we are today so that we can do what we do at Spirit and Soul. And so when I first opened Spirit and Soul, maybe a couple of months after, I started to hear all of the different stories that people were telling us, the stories that they were having these shifts in their life. And I realized, and this is what I wanted it to be, that extremely early on, that we were way more than just a store, right? That we were a place where people could walk in one way and leave another. And I would look across the street from Spirit and Soul, and I would see the Argyle Theater. And the Argyle Theater is seriously, it's right across the street from us. You can see the lights and everything, and the big signs, the marquee from the shop window. And I would look there and I would say, we're going to host a conference there. So this is years ago, 4 years ago now, that I started to put this idea into motion, that I really wanted to have a conference there, and not just with Spirit and Soul voices. I wanted all of the people that have influenced us, the people that we carried their books in the bookstore, and this idea, the seed was planted. And while I wasn't working on it every day, I wasn't thinking about it all the time, I would keep coming back to it. I would just love to have a conference there. And I spoke it out loud to the staff, and they all knew that one day that's something that I wanted to do. And last year for Spirit and Soul was our biggest year yet. I mean, gigantic. And personally, in my personal brand, within that, I had so many leaps and bounds that, of course, come back to Spirit and Soul, because everything comes back to this place. This is our home. And this is the most special place to me on earth. I will say that loudly and say that proudly. And I know that a lot of you guys have said the same. And so everything that I do within my own like healing and my own like personal brand always funnels back to the lifestyle, right? And spirit and soul is the lifestyle. How do we live? How do we move forward? And then also we're holding that space for you through the classes and all of the different things, the one-to-one services. And that was our biggest year yet. And I just knew, I knew that this was the year, that we had reached so many people at this point, that we were changing lives on a huge level, and it was becoming a global thing, right? Like we ship our products out globally. I'm speaking on global stages. Like, so this is becoming a global thing. And I'm so proud of that. Like, you have no idea. Like, I'm saying the words and like I'm getting teary-eyed and I want to cry, because to be sitting and being miserable and not living the life that I was living, to be able to create a movement, and not just myself, but with this incredible team that I have by my side, is a dream come true. And it really is just everything I could have wished for and more. And so now we need to level it up in this way and hit as many people as possible with what we are doing, with that energy, with the frequencies, with the healing and the manifesting, and all of it in one place. And the way that you do that, right, if it's not digital, right, is through hosting a huge event. And so here we are. And this is how Unlimited was born. If I tell you how this all transpired, you'd be like, are you kidding me? So while this was in the back of my mind that I wanted to do this, I had no plan. I had never talked to the Argyle Theater in my life, and I like about this at all. And so I just decided that it was the time. And I want you to understand something about what it is to just know that it's time to do something and to take immediate action on it. So Brittany and Gina, Kerry, Talia, we all went and took a day retreat in the Hamptons, a work retreat. And this is what we do at these work retreats: is we literally like go to one place. We don't move. We don't like leave the house, and we just put everything out that we want to do. We get things done. We get all the ideas out. We start the planning. And so this is where I said, I want to do a conference this year. And we started to list everything out, and we started to talk about all the things. And truly that idea was now becoming grounded into reality as we started to create a plan, as we started to get everything ready to go for it. So when we got back, I immediately reached out to the Argyle Theater, and I said, I would really love to do this. They, got back to me and they said, we don't really normally do things like this. Like, they really host their own events. And so I just held the vision, and they were like, all right, let's go. Let's do it. And because they host like events every now and then for people. And it became like a thing, right? Because now we've engaged with the theater. They have said yes. And now it's time to move forward. And so I just started to create a list. And now I'm going back and forth with my PR team. And they're like, all right, give us a list. Who do you want there? And I just wrote down the list that was on my heart. The people that were really moving me, have moved me. And also the people that were the newer voices maybe in my life that were really inspiring me on a different level. And because of the way that I wanted it structured with keynote speakers, which means like just like one person up there talking, and panels and experiences, I knew that I could really have a multitude of voices that speak to whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you're looking for, and that speak to your interests. And so I just listed out the names. And I'm going to tell you that as of right now, every single one of those people has said yes. Some of them I can't say exactly who yet, because we just have to sign that last part of the contract. And I'm so excited to share them. But every single person, and I dreamt really big. Okay, so we are either in talks, okay, we've started the conversation, or we're signing documents right now. And so this stage, this huge stage, like we went to go, first of all, guys, what an experience to even go and see the venue behind the scenes, all the things, then to start to see everything come to life. You have no idea. Like, my heart was beating out of my chest. My God, like just the lights on, and just I could see it all unfolding, and I could actually see like the vision of everybody sitting in the seats and just being transformed, because I know what it is to be sitting in one of those seats and have your life transformed by the things that were being said on that stage. And I could see it unfolding in the spirit and soul way, right? And how we do things and the little details, and how we truly take an idea and we just elevate it. We elevate it to a level that is just so, it feels luxurious, and it feels also grounded, and you know that you are supported and held. And like, I could see it all unfolding before me. And so to have everybody just even having the conversations, beginning the conversations, talking, and them showing interest, saying yes, everybody saying yes, like this stage is going to be filled with the most incredible, inspiring, motivating, practical, and yet it's grounded and practical, and yet it is spiritual. Right? Like, I wanted this to be a beautiful mix of spirituality, because that is who we are. I mean, it's in the name, guys, spirit and soul, right? Like, it's in the name. It's the spiritual aspects and how we weave it into our modern lives. So it's has personal development. Like, I wanted it to be woven in with the spirituality, this big part of that personal development, because that is healing, right? Like, you can call personal development, it is healing. That's what it is. It's manifesting, it's reaching for more, and then understanding that you're, being held back by other things, and that those other things are you and your past, right? So it's like, clear them out, create new habits, move on with your life in a huge way, right? And like, this is, I'm very much oversimplifying it, but that's the idea. And that's the idea of personal development. So you can call it personal development, you can call it healing, and they're the same. I look at them as the same. Okay. It's a new way to live in your most evolved life. And so I wanted that spiritual aspect. So on that stage, we have a big astrologer up there that's really going to talk about the astrological pieces and how we move through things that make us feel unlimited. How do we become unlimited, right? And then we have the voice of Erica Polsinelli is going to be a part of it. So she's InCale, XCale on social media. And she is going to come in. She's going to do an experience for us, but she's also on a panel because she's such a wealth of knowledge. And she is a breath of fresh air. Like, her take on things is just so like ethereal, and yet she grounds it here and grounds it to earth, and makes you feel like you can really breathe through anything. And also take all of that and incorporate it into your life, and to bring in whatever it is you want in your life. And we have just so many. We have an incredible fireside chat. Oh my gosh, that's going to be so good. We have, of course, some of the spirit and soul staff are going to be there. The teachers, of course. And yeah, and I can't wait to share more. I really, really can't. Because I am going to tell you that you are going to walk in as one person, and you are leaving completely transformed. You are leaving with an identity shift. And I'm just over the moon with excitement, and I can't wait. So it is a full day affair, full day. And if you go VIP, we're doing a beautiful, amazing dinner, and some of the speakers are going to be there at the Babylon Mercantile, which is right down the road from the Argyle, from Spirit and Soul Studio. And the food there is absolutely phenomenal. And it just all worked out. And we're going to have experiences there and readers there. I mean, it's really going to be such a beautiful experience and a way for us to then take everything that we talked about in the conference and then have it be a little bit more intimate in an intimate setting where then you can ask questions and talk to some of the speakers, myself, how to, incorporate maybe some of the things that were coming up or the ideas. And this is what we wanted to be able to offer, an intimate experience as well. And that's that. So let's talk about, now that we've talked about the conference itself, and this is happening, by the way, on June 13th, Saturday, June 13th. It's an all-day affair. It's going to be amazing. We're also looking for sponsors. We have sponsors. We're looking for more. So if you have a business and you are interested in sponsoring and getting in front of this beautiful crowd of people that is inevitably going to be there, then just reach out to us. But let's talk a little bit about what actually happens at a conference. Because if you've never been to a conference, you have no idea about the impact that it can have in your life, because transformation truly accelerates when we gather. I'm a huge believer in that, and not just because I facilitate it, but I've also been a part of it. Right? Like I go to conferences, I go to multiple conferences a year. Now I speak at conferences and I still am an attendee at conferences. They are the shifts that happen in a conference. It's different. It's different than in a class. It's different than in a workshop because it's happening on this grand scale. And there are always these moments where you connect with the people around you. And I feel like at conferences, it's just how the universe works. Like you're usually put with somebody that, or like near somebody, even if you came with friends or whatever it is that you network with or you talk to, and you see that they might be going through something similar. Like I am still friends with people that I met at conferences at my first ever conference. So my first ever conference was the Rise conference by Rachel Hollis, and it transformed my whole business. I'm here. One of the biggest reasons I'm here is because of that. I actually recently just found my workbook from that conference, and it literally was shifting me in the workbook out of food blogging, and it was the road to where I am today. And that was the first ever groundwork that took. Like during that, I want you to understand something. I went to that conference with the business of food blogging in my mind, and I left there with the idea of all of this that is happening now. It took courage to make that leap. Yes, like I always say, like I let it go. I did, but like there was still that moment of like, all right, am I going to do this? Okay, all right, we're going to go, right? And it was at that conference that I made that leap, and I created the whole vision for it, the whole like outline and like things of how it was going to look. And I had talked to my business coach about it, but still wasn't really like, I was like, okay, all right. And then like it was more of an identity shift, right? Like that's what happened there. If I could pinpoint it, it wasn't the decision, it was the identity. I took on the identity of it. And I remember that the speakers there, I can still remember them. I can still remember what their speeches were about, how the certain parts of them just moved me to action. I can remember all of the things. And that is the power of a conference. It's on another energetic level. You have all of those people there with transformation on their heart. They are all there looking for the same thing as you are. It doesn't matter how far along they are, how far along you are, you're in it together. And really being around others who are open to the transformation. Even if you're not, even if you're like teetering like I was at my first conference, it gives you the permission to just do it. Like, let's freaking grow. Let's freaking go and grow, I guess. I mean, I guess that wasn't really a slip. But when you're looking around and you're hearing these speakers and you're hearing their stories and what knowledge and wisdom that they provide, what you're doing is you're really borrowing their beliefs. You're seeing that it's possible. And when you see that it's possible and somebody is up on that stage and they're talking to you and they're telling you about their experiences and how far they've come and all of this stuff, like, you start to see your expansion mirrored back to you. You start to see the possibility mirrored back to you. And what starts to happen realistically to your nervous system is that it starts to calm around it because you look around. And it's not just the one speaker on the stage. You start to look around you and you start to see that there are so many others that are looking to grow and make leaps and do all of those things just like you. Because when you're on this path, it can feel lonely if you're not reaching out and gathering the help of others and like asking for help and asking just to be seen and heard. It can feel lonely. And now you look around and you see that you're not alone. That no matter what the story is or what you're reaching for and what they're reaching for, that you're reaching for something else. And so that's why I truly feel like conferences begin to shift you, because you're looking at it in such a bigger way. And yeah, like, you can do your growth work alone. You can read the books and do that. I'm going to tell you right now, it takes way longer. 100%. I was there first. First of all, when I started this work, it was during COVID. Like, they at that time weren't doing conferences. Like, everything was digital. So maybe if you were doing like a digital conference or something like that, which is nice and cool, but like, it's not the same. It's just not. It's not the same as being in physical proximity with everybody around you. And so, yeah, you can do that work. And I can tell you it will take significantly longer. And when you're in community with other people, your healing, your expansion, all of it truly accelerates. And I say this all the time. If you're in like a group healing or you come to Spirit and Soul classes, you are accelerating yourself because you're in everybody's energy, and everybody's energy is lifting each other up. And it's actually so beautiful. I love it so much. So why unlimited? Why this topic? And I think that, well, I know that we all limit ourselves, right? Like, we truly limit who we can be. And you know, I talk about this all the time. I do. Because I have taken so many parts of my life and created a limitless feel. It doesn't mean that there are times where I don't limit myself, but I can usually catch them. Or if I don't, I let go very easily. And so we're always limiting ourselves in some way, but how do you start to break the chain of that and truly become unlimited, truly become limitless? When you start to truly trust yourself and believe that what you came here to do is what you're meant to do, and there's actually nothing that is meant to stop you, the game changes. You can fall back into that trust. You can fall back and surrender into the belief that you know that everything is working out in your favor. That begins to create a limitless feel. And also, you have to understand what are the limits that you've created for yourself, because we create limits for ourselves. So what limits have you created? And if you are not self-aware, if you don't even know what it looks like, how your limits show up for you, then you're going to stay stuck. I'm just going to say it, right? Like, you're going to stay stuck. You will continuously limit yourself. And understanding that to be unlimited is an internal thing. It's an internal thing. Your soul is not limited. It is limitless, your soul. It is ever expanding, and it is there to guide you. And your ego, you are the ones that put the limits on you. And so when you could start to tap into your soul more, you start to break those chains, you become unlimited, the feeling of unlimited, knowing that all of a sudden things just start happening, and that you're not stopping yourself anymore because you think you're not worthy, because you think you know you're worthy. So let's go, universe, right? Like that's the energy that I want. And once you start to do that, you start to see your external world like, let's go. We've always been here. You just didn't see us. Like, hello. It's like, do you see me? I see you. You see me. Like that is truly how it is. It's like, I've been here the whole time. You just were so focused on your limits that you couldn't see how you were limitless and could have all of these things. And so for me, unlimited is about an expanded capacity. It's about the expanded capacity to hold more love, to hold more joy, to hold more truth, to hold more possibility for your life of what life could actually be, to let go of the constraints that you put yourself in, that life has to look this way, has to be this way. Start to let go and start to create a life that feels so freaking good to you. So good. And I say this, I'm saying this in particular right now, this part, because I know that already you are like, easier said than done, or like, oh, there's so many things. Like I have kids, I have a job, we have school, and like all this stuff. And I want you to tell you that who said you had to put yourself in a box? Okay, you have kids. Great. I love that for you. I have kids too. And you know what I started to do? I actually started to say, okay, this life that I have envisioned for myself, it 100,000,000% includes the growth for my children. Like partially why I'm doing all of this is to give them this life and show them also that they are unlimited, show them what's possible for them. And part of that is going to be that their lives get changed. And so all along, I've been talking to them about that. How would you feel if we live like this? How would this feel? And this is what's going to happen. And this is what we're going to start to do. And so now they're seeing that. They're seeing that they get to go to Hawaii because mommy has a speaking engagement. And so, yeah, I'm taking them out of school because I can. They're mine. They're my children. And I want to give them experiences. And so I choose to start to live life a little bit differently. So when I say who says, that's what I mean. You could keep yourself stuck in a box and continue to limit yourself, or you can think about what life looks like in a different capacity that actually is not contained, but is expanded. And for me, that's what living an unlimited life looks like. So it doesn't mean I'm taking my kids out of school. It doesn't mean that at this moment. But what it means is that I will live life on my terms. And I will then work out what I need to work out because the universe is always working in my favor. So how can I fail? Right? My kids are smart. My kids are learning. They're actually learning more traveling than they are sitting, falling asleep at a desk every day. And so I get to decide what my life looks like and my children's life looks like and be different about it. And so you don't have to limit yourself with your own thoughts. Now, maybe your dream life looks somewhat like it does today. Okay, great. But how could you be more happy in it? How could you be more fulfilled in it? How could you be more joyful, more grateful? Wouldn't it be nice to, I don't know, have some help around the house? Wouldn't it be nice to, start opening yourself up to way more possibilities within the life that feels good to you? So what it means to be unlimited does not mean that you have to have these big, huge, lofty goals like I do. No, that's not for everybody. But within our lives, we can always want for more, and there's nothing wrong with that. We can always look around and say, I love my house. I have my dream house, but I'm cleaning this thing and I don't want to, right? So what do I got to do to manifest a cleaning crew and maybe a house manager, right? What do I have to do that? And then you can unlimit yourself to have those things, right? So I want to give this to you in many different ways and open you up to this, because it's not just about being a big dreamer. It's about looking at life and feeling good in it. But yeah, I want you to dream big too. I do. I do. But dreaming big looks very different for everybody. It doesn't mean that you have to be traveling the world, but like, why wouldn't you want to? And if you say like, oh, but I fear flying, why? We can change that, right? Like, that's a limit that we no longer have to have. So these are things that when you walk into the Unlimited Conference, you will walk in with and leave a completely different person. You will leave a person that is ready to open themselves up to their biggest potential and see that it is actually possible, that the whole time it was actually possible. And that's what I love the most, is to understand that the whole time it was there. The whole time. And it's like, it's not meant to beat you up. It's almost like assurance to me. Like, okay, all right, I had to like walk through that, and I had to like understand it, because if I would have had it right at the beginning, I wouldn't have appreciated it. Right? So I know that we all, every single one of us can sit down right now and write down every single thing that we are grateful for in our lives. And we will have a huge list of all the beautiful, beautiful things in our lives. And then there's also the list of things that we would love to be fulfilled. And there are the things that we would love to not carry anymore, like the stories of our past, like the experiences that we went through. And that in and of itself is a big, beautiful dream, to walk around feeling like the weights of the past have been lifted, and the weights of your limits have been lifted, and the weights of your negative thoughts and negativity about things have been lifted. That right there is a huge dream for some. And I think honestly for all of us, we all have things to work through. And this is a lot of what we are going to do, because you know how we do things at Spirit and Soul. We don't just talk about the motivating aspect of everything. There's more to it. Okay? We have to create the space for it. So of course there's going to be healings. And of course there's going to be things that make us understand ourselves on a deeper level. That is the point. That is the point of this conference. And then we're going to be like, let's blow the lid off this thing and let's go. And I cannot wait for it. So you can head on over to the show notes for the link to jump on board with this. If you don't live on Long Island, there are hotels. We are going to be partnering with hotels and just finalizing which ones we want to put out there. And we're creating room blocks. And it's going to be the experience of your year. I can say that. With everything that we have planned, the people that are going to be on that stage, it is going to be the most beautiful experience of your year. So head on over to the show notes, click that link, sign up. Listen, we are very limited on VIP, and we already have a bunch of VIPs sold out, okay? Because we're only doing a small amount. And we did a whisper launch, it's called, to the people that have supported Spirit and Soul right from the beginning, the people that are here all the time, coming to all the classes and really supporting us in a huge way. We did something called a whisper launch, and we let them know before. Honestly, I didn't have a website. I had nothing. I was just like, here's what's happening. Do you guys want in? And they were like, absolutely. And every single person signed up. So most of them, actually all of them, took VIP. So here we are with a very limited amount of VIPs. So don't wait. Jump at it immediately. And right now, if you're listening to this episode in real time, it is early bird pricing. So you're going to want to make sure that you jump on that. It's hundreds of dollars off. Okay? So make sure that you are clicking that link, signing up. It will truly be such an amazing way to tap into your own limitless possibilities. And of course, I thank you for all of your love, all of your support. And Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Spirit and Soul podcast. I'll see you on the next episode.